Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ahmet here. So if you watched my video about best personal development books in 2021, you know that this book right here, Atomic Habits by James Clear, is my favorite personal development book of all time. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 4 incredible takeaways that I got from reading this book for the third time. And they are how to stick to your good habits for a lifetime, how to be continuously productive throughout the day against all the setbacks that are going to come to your way, the main rule that you have to follow for habit change, and the best way to develop a new good habit. So let's get started. So the first thing is how to stick to your good habits for a lifetime. And this is an incredible question, and the answer actually is your identity. Your identity is the single most important thing when you look at essentially trying to make a habit stick in your life for a very long time. Using habit trackers, using different strategies, all of those things are definitely good for you, and those are things that I also still do. But if that habit that you're trying to essentially develop in your life is not aligned with your identity, it is going to be incredibly hard for you to essentially make it stick. And let me give you an example about this. I heard a similar example to this somewhere, but I don't really remember where it was. So think about a Muslim and an atheist. The Muslim goes to the mosque regularly and the atheist does not. And even if an atheist is going to try to use different habit trackers or different, strategies to make that habit stick, he is not going to go to the mosque because that is just not who he is. So when you are trying to develop a good habit, definitely this is something really important. Align that habit to your identity. You are not just someone who is trying to make the habit of exercising stick. You are someone fit. You are someone who essentially cares about your health. So that is why you exercise regularly. That is why you essentially eat healthy. And because of the fact that you are going to be doing those things, your identity is going to get stronger and your habits are going to basically stick for a very, very long time, hopefully a lifetime. The second thing that we are going to be talking about is essentially how to be continuously productive throughout the day. And this graph right here is going to help me illustrate that point. So this graph right here shows us how the decisions that we will be making throughout the day are going to change our day, how those decisions are essentially going to determine if that day is going to be a productive one or an unproductive one. So as you can see from the graph, every decision that you make throughout the day essentially has an effect on your productivity levels on the day, and this is something really basic essentially logic. So if you do something that is good, if you make a good choice, if you make a good decision, then your day is going to be a little more productive. If you make a bad decision, then your day is going to be less productive. As I said before, this is basic logic, but there are 2 different points that we have to focus on with this graph. And the first one is the first choices that you make throughout the day are the most important ones, as you can see from the graph, because if you can essentially make the first 2 choices right in the day, then you are going to be able to have a productive day. It doesn't really matter what the other choices are, you are still going to have a productive day. That is why your morning routine matters a lot. But on the other hand, if you make the first 2 decisions of your day, your morning routine, and the first essentially, let's say, eating that frog, your first most important tasks, if you make a bad decision, then if you make the first 2 decisions wrong, then your day is not going to be productive, even though you might essentially try to make it productive, because you are at a point where it's kind of hard to get it back. So your morning routine matters. Do the most important task in the day right after you wake up. And on the other hand, the second thing that should be mentioned in this graph is basically when you see setbacks throughout the day, when you already did, for example, the first 2 tasks of the day wrong, when you already made the first 2 decisions wrong, the day is not over. You might be thinking, oh, the day is over, it's gonna be pretty much impossible for me to get back from this point, so I'm just gonna give it up completely and we're gonna be starting tomorrow again from zero. And this is Perfectionism 101. This is perfectionism basically 101. Do not fall into this trap. The third lesson that I got from Atomic Habits and reading Atomic Habits for the third time is basically the main rule to habit change, and that is your reward system that is in your brain. So every single action that we take, every single behavior that we do every single day, for every single one of our steps, we have a goal in our brain. We want to get some kind of a reward, and this is something that everybody knows. This is just basic stuff. And our behaviors are basically basically aligned with the reward that we are getting. So when you are trying to create a new habit, build a new habit, or break a bad one, the first thing that you should think about is basically your reward system. If you are trying to build a good habit, then you have to make that reward so good that your habit should feel irresistible. Well, this all like sounds good and nice, but how do we actually create good rewards throughout the day so that we can be motivated to essentially continue with these habits? Well, as Tony Robbins says, happiness comes from progression. So you seeing your own progression, you seeing your own growth is going to be the most irresistible reward that you can ever think of. One way I like to do this is basically to use habit tracking sheets, just like the one that you're seeing right now. Every day when I get a habit done, I put that cross to a paper, and now I don't want to break that streak that I have. And this is what keeps me going when I don't have the motivation to essentially do that habit, when I don't feel like doing that habit is something that I want to do. And the fourth and the very last learning lesson that I got from Atomic Habits and reading it for the third year and listening it for the second time is basically your environment matters a lot. The best way to build a habit is essentially through your environment. The exact chapter in the book is called Motivation is Overrated and Environment Matters More. And I couldn't agree more to this statement, because if you have the control to your physical, your mental, and your social environment, then it is going to be easy for you to build that habit. So when it comes to your physical environment, there's one thing that you should do, and that is you have to make it easy for you to do that habit. So if you want to read more, then leave a book on your bed or leave a book on your desk and do something that is going to make the habit of reading incredibly easy. Or if your goal is to essentially practice guitar more, then just put your guitar to somewhere that you can easily see and pick up. And with these ways, you are going to be able to do that habit essentially so much more than you normally are doing. And that is going to create the momentum that you need to make this habit stick. And when it comes to your social environment, get into the friend groups that the habit that you're trying to build is basically the default habit that everyone has. So if you are in a circle where everyone is ripped, then you are going to be someone fit. Or if you are in a circle where everybody is talking about the ideas that James Clear wrote in this book, Atomic Habits, you are going to be someone who will essentially read more, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So your environment matters a lot. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give this video a like. And if you want to see more personal development, productivity type of content just like this, then subscribe. And if you essentially got some value out of this video, I think you will enjoy the video that I did a few weeks ago, which was about how to essentially not be lazy anymore. If you want to watch that video, it's going to be on the screen right here and also in the YouTube cards, and I will see you in that video.